everyone. Today I'm going to show you how to make a greenhouse using only your old produce containers. So the best ones really are going to be your fruit containers because they already have these set holes in the top and bottom. Not sure if you can really see them here. If you have any other plastic food containers at home, you can also use those. Just be sure to puncture holes in them before planting and starting your seeds so you have that air and then you're not worrying about trying to do it once you've already got the dirt in the ground. So to start off with, if you've got some mulch available, do just a sprinkle of mulch in each container to help with your water filtration. This will help just add that little bit at the bottom so that dirt doesn't get all stuck together. So I'm going to add just a sprinkle in each bottom. And that'll pop us up here so they're not flapping in the wind. After you get your mulch in, as you can see, you're going to go ahead and add your dirt. So I just did normal potting soil mix. I actually got it at the dollar store because it's one of the cheaper ones. And I'm going to start with tomatoes today. So just a light sprinkle in each one to get yourself started. I would say it's good to have the bag near you. You never know how much dirt you're going to need. So as always, just read on the back the specifications for each seed starting. So your length and days to germinate. So the days to germinate here where it says 8 to 10, this is about how long you're going to need to keep the tomatoes in your makeshift greenhouse. And our depth is 1/4 of an inch. So I say about half of your pinky. That's how I was always taught. It is also okay to still start these in water a few days before. However, the good thing about these greenhouses, you can add that little sprinkle of water and within a few days, you've got enough moisture in there, you should start to see some sprouts. So I've got my little holes here. I'm going to do about a couple in each. I know you should just do one. I do about 2 just in case to make sure I get something here. So this first one here is going to be the start of my tomatoes. And I'm just going to pat it really lightly, and that's really it to get it started for that first tomato one. And just go ahead and close your lid. When you're done, I would sprinkle just a little bit of water. You could even run water over the top and let it fall through these holes so it's not too wet. So we're going to set our tomatoes here over here to the side. So my next little greenhouse I'm going to start is for this beautiful black opal basil. So it's a little different and unique from other basils I've seen, so I'm very excited about it. This one takes a little bit longer to germinate than the tomato. It's 14 to 21 days, and it's still about that 1/4 of an inch deep. So when you plant these seeds, I'm using the bigger strawberry container for this because they get to stay in there a little bit longer. So I use the same technique where I just poke my finger down in there a little bit and get ready to put my seeds in here. I'm doing about 6 little pokes, all pretty much an inch apart. Basil isn't as strict as the other seeds when you start the plants because it's an herb. It does like to grow together. So I do just a sprinkle, maybe 1 or 2 seeds in each of these 2 to try to give it enough to start, and just press them down to get those bedded. If you want to give yourself some reassurance, you can lightly sprinkle a little bit of dirt back on here. Just a light sprinkle. I wouldn't even do enough to where it could be a full inch because they only need to be a 1/4 of an inch underneath that soil. I'll add my extra dirt to my last little starter here, and then you just close your lid up. And again, like with the tomatoes, add a little bit of water, and then the evaporation, the reason it has this greenhouse effect, so it's encased in the plastic, but we have our holes here to let the water evaporate, and it's a perfect little seed starter. you can see from my tomatoes a little bit ago, my condensation's already happening. So we already have a small greenhouse effect happening here with my condensation on the top. I'm not sure if the light's catching it too well out here, but it's already beginning. It's only been about 5 minutes since I started that one. For my last little one, I'm gonna do the sunflowers. I've got a few extras right here that I was gonna start today, but I'm gonna be bold and try to get an early start on these sunflowers. You do have to watch these a little closer, and you may even have to transport them sooner depending on height. This one, it is 10 to 14 days to germinate, and it needs to be an inch in depth, so a little bit deeper. Probably only going to try to start about 4 in this one. 3 is probably the safer bet, but I always like to try to do a little extra so I know it's going to come out on top. Of course, with sunflower seeds, these are less stressful than your little baby seeds. So you can just grab in and put 1 seed each down in here. And then I got extra in there, so then you'll just go ahead and cover them up. This one you very well may need to get that extra dirt just to be sure they are an inch deep. I'm going to grab another handful. I'm just going to go ahead and sprinkle it and go ahead and pat it down just to make sure you've got that inch of sow depth. And then again, you'll just close it up. And then we have our sunflower starter. So it's minor mess. As you can see, I've got a little dirt here. It's a great fun activity outside for the kids. I still have some extra ones I need to start here. And then as a final example, here's some thyme I started at the beginning. So my condensation is always active here. You can see it here on the side. And this is your greenhouse effect in action. So this is a little baby thyme sprouts. I don't know if you can see them in there. But that will be your final treat. And then after they get a little bit bigger, I'm going to either transport these into a pot, more than likely where I live, but you could also do it straight into the garden if you've got a nice fertile garden. This is just like any other sprouts that you would buy at the store. But you can do these yourself. You have a lot more turnout, than just buying a potted plant. So thank you for coming today.